There's a financial storm currently brewing in the Florida condo market. Stay tuned, it's coming up next. Hey everyone, welcome to Living the Fort Lauderdale Lifestyle, and I am Scott Neubrecht. Today we are going to go over the 2025 reserve laws for condos that will be hitting your checkbook if you're a current condo owner. Let's get started. So before we get started, you may ask yourself, why is this all happening now? Well, it's the direct result of the horrific Champlain Tower South condo collapse in the summer of 2021 in the Miami area. So a 2018 engineering report on the Champlain Towers warned of major structural damage and abundant cracking and crumbling of major support columns. And so by 2021, all of the repairs that were suggested in this report, none of them had been completed. And then unfortunately, we had this horrific accident. So now fast forward to 2023 and Senate Bill 154, which was slated into law, and this legislation states the following. So starting in 2025, state law requires that condo boards set aside money to cover future major repairs. So I'm going to read to you verbatim what the law states, and I don't want to get any of this wrong. So condo associations must have enough money in their reserves to fund all necessary repairs to maintain the structural integrity of all buildings 3 stories or higher. All existing associations must meet this requirement by December 31st, 2024. So that's like right now. This has got to be happening right now in order for all of this to come to fruition in the next several months. All condominiums and cooperatives must reserve for structural and safety related items separately from the other reserve items. These other reserve items are the normal day-to-day operating expenses like taking care of the pool, landscaping maintenance, and management fees, stuff like that. All condominiums and cooperatives must order a reserve study every 36 months in order to waive or reduce their reserve funding requirement. So as I had mentioned, condo associations have until the end of 2024 to complete a structural integrity reserve study. And what that does is it analyzes the association's finances and the potential repair costs that will be coming down the pipeline. In addition, under this new legislation, a licensed engineer must visually evaluate all buildings older than 30 years and buildings older than 25 years if they're within 3 miles of the ocean. And a secondary inspection will be required if there's evidence of major structural damage. So obviously, these new laws are aimed at ensuring that associations have enough money set aside in the reserves to fund all necessary repairs in order to maintain the structural integrity of the building for everybody's safety. So the bottom line really is that these new laws threaten the housing affordability for current owners in condos that have deferred this important maintenance and repairs. And what does that mean? Well, let's talk about it. And until recently, believe it or not, Florida law did not require condo associations to complete a reserve study. And despite annual budgets being obligated to include reserves for capital expenditures and deferred maintenance, these associations were previously allowed through a member vote to either completely not contribute at all to the reserves or reduce the amount that was going into the reserve. So you may think to yourself, what condo owner in their right mind would not want to have reserve funds to take care of maintenance that would maintain the structural integrity of their condos? Well, there's a couple of groups of people who wanted to do this. And let's start out with number one. There's just people who didn't want to spend the money, so they voted through their boards not to contribute to the reserve funds. That's number one. Number two is there were groups of people that are older that said to themselves, well, you know, I might not be around in a few years, so why do I have to pay the money now? And then a second group were the people that were planning on maybe just selling in the next couple of years. So why would I, if I'm going to sell my condo, why would I contribute to the reserves to pay for future repairs when I'm not even going to be here? And you'll be interested to know that 600,000 roughly of the 1.5 million condos here in Florida are 40 years old or older. So for many decades, this loose regulatory environment has allowed for the deferment of these major important repairs and maintenance, and that's why we are now experiencing this extreme financial storm in the Florida condo market. So according to Barrel Engineering and Inspections, the cost of a structural integrity reserve study can be anywhere from around $5,000 upwards to around $20,000, depending on the size of the building. According to Robert M. Nordland, and he is the CEO and founder of Association Reserves Incorporated, HOAs should be setting aside 15 to 40% for the total money that they need to be putting into these reserves to fund all these future repairs. So obviously all this information and the new laws is going to spell financial trouble for many condos here in Florida, especially here in South Florida, where we have many condos that are 40 years old and older. There's a recent news story in the Miami News, and it is mentioned in the Biscayne Times, and there is this condo association in Miami called the Palm Bay Yacht Club, and they have a proposed $46 million bill that could be due in order to take care of all the maintenance that's required for the 40-year recertification of the building. And that boils down to about $175,000 per condo owner. And that is unaffordable and absolutely insane. So you can see why this perfect storm, financial storm, is building here in the condo market. It's very sad. There's going to be a lot of condo associations that are going to have money that's due that people won't be able to afford. Now, it's not going to be as extreme as what I just mentioned, but it's going to happen because there's so many buildings that are 40 years old and older here in this area. If you're watching this video right now, I hope and I pray that you're not a condo owner that's affected adversely monetarily by these new laws. But I think it's inevitable because we have so many old condo buildings here in South Florida. But I pray again that it doesn't affect you in such a large degree. I want to thank you for watching the channel, and if you have found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button so you always know when I release my latest videos. Take a look at some of my other videos of property tours and other fun things here in Florida and give them a thumbs up as well. And until my next video, see ya.